Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So if you've been watching the news recently and wondering what Starlink is and why Elon Musk has been rapidly shipping them to Ukraine, then you're probably not alone. Combine this with the fact that more and more people are moving out of cities, I felt like this was the perfect time to test out Starlink, and I wanted to give you guys my honest thoughts on whether this is something worth getting. So just in case you're not aware, Starlink is a satellite internet network operated by SpaceX, which provides high-speed, low-latency internet access to coverage areas where traditional hardwired fiber connections don't yet exist. This is why it's so important in Ukraine right now, and also why more and more people who live rurally are turning to it as an option. So first off, I just wanted to quickly walk you through my ordering experience. You'll notice when going into the Starlink website that it's actually really simple, and the first thing I did before even considering ordering was to check the coverage where I live. You do that by just clicking on this pin at the top left corner of the screen, which will bring up the global coverage map for Starlink. So there's two things which I was checking. Firstly, the actual coverage of Starlink, which is indicated by the light blue colour, but then it's also important to check the waitlist, which as far as I can tell means that Starlink does actively cover that area, but because of high demand, it's too oversubscribed for new users, and they don't want to compromise network speeds. SpaceX actually deliberately limit this so the network can maintain fast speeds, so until a user ends their subscription or more satellites are put up, then this is essentially the waitlist. Fortunately, if you look at the UK coverage, it's currently really strong and there's currently no waitlists, unlike the US, as you can see here. So once you've checked that, all you need to do is order the Starlink, which is super simple. You literally just type in the service area and then put in your order details. Obviously you don't get a choice of colour when you order the Starlink, it's just the standard kit, which costs £580 or about $600, and then of course the ongoing monthly fee of £100 or about $110. You can also choose to add portability, which means you can move the dish around now from location to location and just pay an extra £25 a month, which would be awesome for all those van life lovers out there. One thing to mention here is if you want a hardwired connection to the Starlink router, then you'll just need to buy that kit separately, which costs an extra £35, which I did just so I could ensure a stable connection to my main laptop. The only thing that did annoy me a little bit is there's no estimated delivery date provided when ordering, so you don't know whether this is going to be 3 months, 6 months, or just a week. You just get a message to say that you usually receive an email within 2 weeks of ordering that will then confirm your delivery date. What I would say though is that mine actually came within a week, so I had a really good experience and was really impressed with the delivery speed, and it definitely exceeded my expectations in that sense. Starting off with the unboxing next, the kit comes in this large dark blue box, which to be honest wasn't exactly the sturdiest thing. So let's open this up and see what's inside. If we take off this bit of plastic here, the first thing we have is the base of the dish, which feels actually a lot stronger than I expected it to be, and it also looks like it has some holes in each of the 4 feet to help secure it to the ground, which could come in handy in windy conditions. It's also worth mentioning that of course you can actually buy different mounts for the dish separately if you want to secure it permanently to the roof of your house, but that's not personally something that I needed when I ordered. So just taking off this smaller bit of plastic now, which separates the stand from the dish itself. I mean, I say the dish, but to be honest this doesn't really look anything like a dish. It's essentially a flat rectangle and it's not even curved. So just lifting this out, it's a bit heavier than I was expecting, which is a good thing because it's going to be more resistant to different weather conditions. Let's have a look now at the router, which is pretty much the standard router size, so nothing really interesting going on here. There is no on or off button, it literally just has 2 sockets in the bottom, one for the feed from the dish and the other one for power. And then of course we have the power cable, which is pretty simple, and finally the dish cable, which is 75 foot or 22 meters long. So that's a pretty good size to have as a standard kit. And then the cable connector, which looks like a micro USB connector, but it's actually a proprietary connector that Starlink uses, which I think is called Micro B. So that's it for the unboxing. There's not really any instructions in here apart from what's on the piece of card protecting the dish, which you can see here. And that essentially just tells you to plug in everything and then download the app. Apart from connecting the dish really quickly to the stand like I'm doing here, there's not really any other physical setup to do with the dish. As you can see, I placed it outside now in an area where it's unlikely to be blocked by trees or buildings. I'm just going to run this cable all the way inside and into the back of the router. Now that the router is on and plugged in, I'm going to switch to the Starlink app, which is a really quick process. You just need to log into your Starlink account and then the dish will connect. As you can see here, it's automatically rotated to lock onto a satellite, which is pretty cool. And now that it's connected, let's talk about the different speeds that I'm getting with this. The first test I ran, which was in a couple of minutes of setting up the dish, I only got about 35 megabytes per second download and 13 megabytes per second upload, which to be honest was a bit worrying at this stage. But that was the phone to the internet, so essentially degradation of the Wi-Fi signal. The actual router speed at this stage was getting around 230 down, which definitely exceeded my expectation. When I tested it a few minutes later though, the download speed this time from the phone directly to the internet was up to 122 megabytes per second down and 30 megabytes per second upload, which was way more what I was hoping for. And again, this time the max download speed of the router was just under 200 megabytes per second. I also tested this on Google speed tests as well, just to make sure I wasn't relying solely on the Starlink app. And this was giving about 140 down and 8 up on the phone to the internet. And then again, I also tested this on speedtest.net, and the download speed on here was 246 down and the upload was 13. Now obviously, compared to gigabit internet, then this isn't very good. But for a lot of rural houses in the UK that have a max hardwired speed of 30 to 40 megabytes per second, or rely on a dodgy 4G or LTE connection, the download speeds of over 200 just blows this out of the water. And just remember, with the hardwired Ethernet connector that I bought separately, you won't get any degradation over Wi-Fi if you want to plug this directly into your TV, work laptop or games console. Now of course, this variable signal strength is very much based on the weather condition, so I tested dish in some overcast, rainy conditions as well. As you can see here, it's pretty cloudy and rainy, so I guess you'd call this a medium to bad day for weather in the UK, and the speeds held up really well. I was getting about 162 down and 35 up on the Starlink app, and then 207 down on Google Speed Test and 162 down on speedtest.net. Now it's spring here in the UK, so I can't really test or simulate proper wintry conditions, but the Starlink app also has a feature which lets you warm the dish to remove frost or snow buildup, helping to prevent any degradation of signal in the winter, which is pretty cool. One of the really important things to remember about Starlink is that there's no data caps, unlike other internet providers. So what you think you're paying for, you might not actually be getting in terms of speeds, especially during peak hours when everyone's on the internet. So definitely check your speeds with your current ISP and you might actually be surprised. One final thing to say here is that in the future we'll actually have Starlink Premium or Starlink Business, which I wanted to test but it wasn't yet available in my area. This new premium version of Starlink promises lightning fast download speeds of around 500 megabytes per second, but the cost jumps pretty drastically to almost $2,500 for the dish, $500 a month ongoing cost. Obviously this is targeted at businesses and super users, so the cost is significant, but it does just give you a taste of where this technology is going in the future. So guys, in summary, I'm a huge fan of the Starlink. It's genuinely blown me away and massively exceeded my expectations. To be totally honest, having read a couple of negative reviews in America, I didn't think it would be very good or actually do the speeds it claims to do online. But if you don't have access to a fixed fibre connection, then this is definitely the next best thing, and I can't recommend it enough. £100 a month is quite expensive and a big pill to swallow, and I'm not a huge fan of the bright white colour as it sticks out like a sore thumb outside, but if you look at the alternatives, then this is a brilliant option for people. So guys, that's it for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to give the video a like and subscribe if you did, and let me know your thoughts on the Starlink in the comments below. I'm really keen to hear what you guys have to say. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.